Welcome. Today we will discuss about the UN Draft Declaration and India's demand for reform of UN Security Council. So what happened recently? There was a virtual summit of ECOSOC which happened, and they finalized the demand draft for the 75th UN anniversary. So United Nations will be celebrating its 75th anniversary. As you know, the UN Charter was first signed in the 1945 after the aftermath of World War II. So now let's begin with this class. Let's quickly go through some of the details. So what happened? This final draft which was presented favors a softer approach for the expansion of membership. So throughout these years there has been many calls to increase the membership and make the United Nations Security Council specifically more representative. So right now the number of members which are present in the permanent seats of UNSC does not represent the realities of the world today. So from that perspective, the final draft also take cognizance of it but suggest a softer approach. Next thing what this declaration says is that we have to think about the founding principle on which the UN was developed. So eventually what happened over a period of time, in fact even today under the condition of pandemic that we are facing, UN is not being considered as a powerful organ that once it was when the World War II ordered. So if you see the keynote speech of PM, he also said that the way UN was formed after the World War II, the present pandemic also gives way that this particular organization need to be reformed, overhauled in fact, and be created and more represented. So that's one of the things. Another thing that you have to remember is that again PM has given a keynote speech on the ECOSOC meet, and he discussed about how multilateralism is very important in present world scenario to move forward. We are facing the times of pandemic where not only one country but entire world has to come together to put their effort together with cooperation, then only we can move forward. Now let's also try to understand what are the main organs of United Nations are. So United Nations has 6 main organs. This is United Nations General Assembly. This is basically the assembly which comprises of all the members of UN where they meet and they discuss things. Second, then the most powerful UN body is your United Nations Security Council. Then you have your ECOSOC, which actually a debate council where people meet and debate. There are around 54 members in this council as of today, and it also manages 14 specialized agencies of UN. Then we have your United Nations Trusteeship Council. It administers the trusteeship territory and check there is nothing wrong going on with it. And then we have the International Court of Justice. This is the top court of United Nations where countries across the world could go and ask for the justice in case of any issue with another country. So the inter-country disputes are handled in the International Court of Justice. It is located in Hague. And then finally we have UN Secretariat, which manages the entire working of United Nations. So now let's move forward and try to understand United Nations Security Council in a bit detail. So what happened? The other organs which we just discussed, the other 5, they can only make recommendation to the country. They don't have any power to enforce their decision. On the other hand, Security Council can actually pass binding resolution. So from that perspective, Security Council becomes a very strong and powerful organ of United Nations. And how these particular things are recommended and enforced by United Nations Security Council is that they have UN peacekeeper. So you should know that India is one of the greatest contributor to the UN peacekeeping force and from this UN peacekeeping force is the one which actually enforced the resolution passed by UN Security Council. You can check the resolution council for Israel and Palestine which has been passed. Check the number. These UN Security Council resolution have number like 1261. So such resolution number are passed and they are enforced by the UN peacekeeping force. Another thing to remember about the UN Security Council is that it has 15 members. Now out of those 15 members, 5 are permanent members. These are your United Nations, United States of America, United Kingdom, Russia, France and China. So you see these 5 nations are the one which has got the seat after the World War II. They actually at present does not represent the power structure of the world, and hence there has been many calls for the reform. What these reforms, like earlier also there has been pitch for it. So like in 2008 itself, the General Assembly decided to talk about the modalities by which the UNSC could be extended, the permanent seat of UNSC could be extended. Back in 2005 also there has been call to widespread to actually think about the UNSC because of the unilateral decisions taken by the permanent seats of UNSC. So these 5 countries which have permanent seat could go for it and take unilateral decision because of the veto power that they have. So veto power is something which says that if any decision is going to pass by UNSC, the 5 nation which has veto power has to support it. If even one nation does not support it, it can veto it. That power is not present with the non-permanent seat. Only the 5 nations with permanent seat has the veto power. Now, why again these reforms are important? Because as of now, the developing or emerging economies are not at all adequately represented. Only China has been represented, and China has also tried to maneuver its way and has been pushing forward with its interest instead of representing the entire developing bloc. So that has been one thing which actually required the UNSC to be reformed. India recently has become the non-permanent member of UNSC for the single year term of 2021 to 2022, and this will actually seen as a boost where India now can go ahead and demand for the expansion of UNSC while being in the council. Next thing that you have to know is that this particular demand for reform is again talked about in the PM key address note that he did on the ECOSOC virtual meet. So he again talked about that why it is important that we increase the scope of UNSC. Other things that we have to remember is that who are the nations which are supporting India's bid and who are the nations which are opposing it. So as of now, India is being supported by France, Russia, UK and US in its bid for permanent seat, which is like the out of 5, 4 are supporting India. At times, China has also said that it could support it, but with terms and conditions, and that has not gone down well along the path. There has been a combination of G4 nation, a grouping which are pushing for permanent seat. These include your Brazil, Germany, Japan along with India. So G4 includes your Brazil, Germany, Japan and India, and these countries are also pushing for permanent seats in the UNSC because as you can see the dynamics in the world present says that these countries should also have a say. And finally we have to talk about the grouping, which is against the participation of any country to get the permanent seat. That was formed in the 1990s, informally known as the Coffee Club, and formally the name is United for Census. So they have been opposing the calls for expansion of permanent seat, and countries like Argentina and Pakistan are part of it. So I hope you have liked this video. Please comment and share. Thank you.